People call it self-sabotage when you recreate the same dynamic over and over again that is destructive in your relationships or in work. But I don't buy that. I think that by calling it self-destructive, you're not wrong. But I think that you're closing yourself off to the idea that this terrible situation might just contain the most valuable thing that you've been looking for. It might just contain the key to your prison, the thing that sets you free. So my background is a Stanford-trained medical doctor, and now I create AI that maps the human mind, helps people to understand what their belief patterns are and behaviors. But from the psych background, I knew that Carl Jung said that your subconscious will recreate these traumas and these experiences from your past because it believes that it might be giving you another shot at trying to figure it out. And it's thinking that, well, maybe I can solve it this time. Maybe I'll get my mother's love this time, or my father's approval, or whatever it is. And when I heard that, I thought, oh, well, that's incredibly annoying to have this backseat driver that's creating these destructive situations. And, well, that's a good reason to go to therapy and figure this stuff out so that that idiot in the back seat stops wreaking havoc. But actually, I think it's a lot more nuanced than that. In fact, I don't think that the subconscious is as much of an idiot as I thought it was. I think that by recreating your past as accurately as it can, it's actually giving you the perfect vehicle to unlock what's holding you back. Now, the downside is that it's so painful, it's so difficult to grapple with this thing because it's such a deep wound. It's a vote of confidence from your subconscious. It's like, I know this is gonna hurt a lot and you can do it. You can go through it and you can figure this out. I say this because I've been noticing this in my own life. When I was a kid, if there's anything that I enjoyed, anything I liked, playing basketball or hanging out with friends, that was often used against me by my mom. She would find out what I liked, she would hold it hostage, and oftentimes it wouldn't work out. She wouldn't let me do that thing, and she used it to control me, or to control all of us. And so she would have us do lots of these random, insane chores, or she would constantly watch how we behaved, every facial expression, the way that our eyes looked, whatever words, whatever tones, and she'd try to find any excuse to take it back, to take it away. And then we would have to do all these things to try to earn it back. And then even then, when we did all of those things, she would do an inspection and, make sure everything was done perfectly. And sometimes she just wouldn't feel like letting us do the thing that we wanted to do. So it was really chaotic and really hurtful. And you just learn to not show what you're interested in, what you're invested in, what you're passionate about. Because if you trust somebody with that information, then it doesn't turn out very well. So anyway, I've noticed that I've actually done this in my relationships where I would make myself very vulnerable to certain people and just get clobbered. Things would just not turn out. And then in hindsight, I look back and I go, oh my gosh, the part that I played in that, I really shouldn't have made myself that vulnerable. I shouldn't have, given so much power to this other person. So when you're in the throes of these situations, it really can feel like the worst thing in the world. So where things turned for me was when I made this realization that these terrible things can be happening to me, but at the end of the day, I can perfectly choose and be in control of how I react, how I respond, what kind of person I choose to be, what I'm going to focus on. I can choose to find things to be happy about and things that are under my control. I can choose the lessons that I'm going to learn, and I can turn a difficult situation into the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. And that was a really big question to ask myself. It's like, if this turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me, why would that be the case? And it's such a hard question to ask. Because in the moment, every cell of your body is revolting and just saying, absolutely not. None of this is good. I'm not going to find any silver lining in this whatsoever. Get the hell away from me. But the more that you wrestle with it, I found that you can actually start to find these keys to free yourself. And when I realized that I could just be myself no matter what, and I could choose what my reactions and response is going to be, then it was almost as if this entire thing not only lost power, but the whole dynamic, it all of a sudden seemed like a big gift. Like I was just given a cheat code. Like, how perfect is it that this situation lined up with my past to such an extent that it gives me the opportunity to work through it again, like an adult rather than a kid, equipped with knowledge and experience, rather than the ignorance of childhood. There's an analogy here that has helped me, and whenever I go to the gym, I always take the weights there for granted, meaning I have never walked into there and gone, well, I am super glad that all of these weights exist. Well, actually, sometimes that's not true. If you ever gone traveling and you go to a hotel and there might be just a tiny little like gym, right? It's like a bench and like a treadmill and that's it, a jump rope. And you go, gosh, like there's nothing to actually lift. I can't properly work out. And I think it's a similar thing in life. So like imagine this, imagine that whatever gym you go to, whether it's your home gym or it's a hotel or any gym in the world, as soon as you check in and they realize that you are who you are, they say, all right, sir or miss, you are allowed to use 2 dumbbells only and they are 4 kilograms each. And like that's all you were ever allowed to use ever. How awful that would be, because you wouldn't have the opportunity to build and to grow. You wouldn't have the resistance. And I think people that have, I'll say, an easy life or quick success, and they're not given the opportunity to really struggle, not just struggle, but like struggle mightily, like the big doozy struggles, like this, like these past trauma struggles. It's like they never get the opportunity to lift the weights, which means that the potential to be who they want to be is not within their grasp. They would have to go out and find these difficult things, something to be grateful for, and it's not intuitive. And there's another angle to this that has given me a ton of peace and confidence, a lot of confidence. So when I was growing up, there was this mountain that was next to our home, and it was called Mount Ashland. Now this mountain was steep. In the wintertime there was ice. Usually there was ice on it, and it wasn't terribly pleasant to go snowboarding on. Like we'd do it because it was close, but it wasn't great. And I remember hearing a few times by people, older people, that would usually chuckle and say, if you can snowboard on Mount Ashland, you can snowboard anywhere. I think that when we're faced with these really difficult challenges, I remember that if you can get through this, if you can hold on to who you are and what you stand for, and you don't fall apart, you take it one step at a time, even 1 minute at a time, if you have to, when you come out the other end, it's not just I believe that I can get through anything. It's you know that you can, because you've done so much already. That's brought a profound peace to me. And I don't think that I would have been able to get that if I treated these situations like they were curses or something to be resisted, and I didn't appreciate them for what they were. So if there's one thing that I could tell my old self, younger self, it would be that even though my first response in these situations is terror and frustration and rage, depression, that if I can find even a spark of curiosity, I found that that's been enough to start to open the folds of the situation. You start to notice things, and it's in the noticing the things and being curious and seeing it for what it really is, do you begin to recognize that there's some value in there.